Hello everyone, on this beautiful chilly morning, Lion Planet Adventures, your home for African safaris, is actually on top of the NGORONGORO crater. We are here at NGORONGORO Serena, and here is a little brief history about the crater itself from our female guide, Agatha.
So every cow had a bell on the neck, which is easy when the cow goes few meters from the rest of the group. It's easy for the Maasais to realize that the cow is going a different direction, and it's also easy to know where it is, so they will actually follow it. So when you listen carefully to the sound of the bell, it produces a sound, ngoro, ngoro, ngoro. So the babies kept singing ngoro, ngoro. So they were actually Chinese people who were doing a road trip, like a research road trip, and they made a point right here, and they found the Maasai kids, and they were trying to ask them where the place is. So they were actually using maps, but then the Maasai kids did not know Swahili or English. They only speak their natural language called Ma. So the Chinese people didn't know Swahili or Maasai, the Maa language as well. So they were trying to ask in English. And the kids were not understanding. They kept saying the Ngoro Ngoro because that's the only thing they knew as kids. So the Chinese people thought this place was called Ngorongoro. So they decided to put a board of the Ngorongoro, and that's why until today we're having a viewpoint. So these people have been living here for over 100 years. So it has been a generation that has lived longer. And the huts that you're seeing down there, those are actually the original houses of the Maasai people. So those are the huts of the Maasai people, whereby even when you're in town, they live into the same kind of huts. So inside that hut, there's actually a room. In some huts, they also live with cows inside one hut. So there's a space of kitchen, there's a space where they eat, there's a space where they sleep, and there's a small cave that goats or small cows also lives inside that particular house. So with Maasai people, you can see a lot of cows and goats, and this is because Maasai people do not regard money of them being wealthy. So the person who has more cows or goats is actually the person who is regarded to be wealthy. And this is because they also depend on cattle for them to survive, because all they eat is either milk, blood, or meat from the cow. So when they slaughter a goat or a cow, they will actually not let any drop of blood go down into the ground. What they do is they will put a basin, and then all the blood will actually go into the basin, and later on they will actually share it. As maybe some tribes in Tanzania, we have over 120 tribes, or we have a tribe known as Chaga, whereby they have their local beer called Mbege. So they stay as a family or community with one big mug, and then you take a sip, you pass it to the next person, and you take a sip. That's what also the Maasai does with the blood. Is there anyone with a question?
Just drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Maasai village. So same thing they're also telling. They're mixing blood with milk.
Yes.
And then they're drinking.
They also use that as sauce, or sometimes they can only fry the blood, and they can also use it as sauce, or they can mix it with chili, and they also use it as sauce. So there's different ways of making blood. Yeah. Also, we have the difference between the highlands and the crater. So on our left-hand side, those are the Ngorongoro Highland. That's not a crater. And on the right-hand side, where we're heading to, we are going to the Ngorongoro crater. So we have several craters which they happened back in the years. The Ngorongoro was actually said to be one of the highest mountain, not only in Africa, but it could be perhaps in the world. So it over 2.5 million years ago, there was a big volcanic eruption that occurred, and good luckily it erupted going downwards, and that's why we had different craters. But the one we are going today is actually the largest unbroken caldera in the entire world. This is the one that we are going today. And Ngorongoro is actually famous for the big five, although the most famous animal to spot into the Ngorongoro is the rhinoceros. But it only depends with the weather. So when it's so windy, actually the rhinos hide because their ears get hot. So they will do whatever it takes for them to hide. But when it's calm, then there is a high chance of seeing the rhinos. The only animal that we will not see in the crater would be the giraffe. And this is because giraffe actually feeds on the acacia tree. That's one of their favorite foods. And we do not have any acacias in the Ngorongoro crater. That means they do not have any food to eat. So they won't survive in that kind of nature. Is there anyone with a question?
No. Good. Flamingos? How about flamingos?